Beautiful, beloved brothers and sisters. I'm Geeia Ariati. I am the assigned oracle for the 144 and beyond. I am of sound heart and sound mind. Today's transmission is an energy reading on a current collective update. It is a warning and an awareness for you and your current experience and what is taking place. I will do my exact best at this point in time, knowing that I am too moving through this exact same experience and that I have required additional support just to do this transmission so that I can feel a level of vulnerability in the lack of safety that I'm feeling in my own environment. So what is taking place right now? What is underway? We've just moved through a massive tipping point, a shift. Our roles were acclaimed and individuals of the bringers of change have chosen a further assigned mission or have not changed their mission but may have taken on extra responsibilities or even evolved to a higher state of consciousness. If you haven't received any of these previous messages, then you may find the previous last updated 3 videos very helpful for what I'm speaking into. In relation to what is taking place now is going to require me to share a little bit about the current underworld agendas. The current satanic consciousness that is underway in our human experience is no longer in the hands of what we have known in the previous times on earth as Satan, otherwise known as Murdoch. This energy is now in the hands of what you could call an inverted underworld Trinity. The ruler of the underworld energy is actually split between 3 major consciousness. And these 3 major consciousness have, at this point in time, sent out an army and an invasion from the underworld that is attacking and affecting our bringers of change and our divine family. Now, I do not want to say this from a place to create fear, and I do not want to say this as a way to induce something other than bring awareness to where you may still have challenges within your own roles as to internal constructs, beliefs, and identities or wounding that may make you a prime candidate for this invasion. This is not so that you go into a state of fear, but to instead empower you to see that everything is happening for you, for us, and for a greater strength and stability. I know when we have psychic attack and when we have invasions against us and there are infringements against our consciousness that we feel anger, we feel fear, we feel resentment. We feel as though we don't want to continue to go on and move through the challenges that are underway. But how we can see this differently is that these moments show us the vulnerabilities in our field. They show us the weaknesses that maybe up until a certain point of time have gone unwitnessed. For me, myself, I have been divinely protected. As an oracle and as a prophesy, I have had angelic support to ensure that I got to this point on my mission so that I could share these messages without being hunted down. Now, I say that with a giggle because in truth, there is a lot of fear that sits under this divine guidance that is encompassing my consciousness at this moment. Many of the Elohim representatives or the legends of the Parakeet are and have been hunted their entire lives. Many of these children go missing and they do not have the luxury and the safety that some do. There is a very deep fear that sits within some of the divinely guided, highly intuitive seers, visionaries, and light workers or oracles, the different beings that have come here with specific information to share with humanity. Those that are supposed to be in the limelight or those that are here as the great mystics of the new earth. Now, we all have our roles, our responsibilities. We all have a gift to share, and we have all experienced some level of attack throughout our life experience. The fearful thing and the challenge to conceive by human mind is that we have constantly been under attack and watch. From the very point of conception to the point you exist now, you have been seen and you have been under surveillance. That is far greater than that of your Facebook and your different social media platforms. The cameras that you see in supermarkets and the different things that you feel you're fearful of because they invade your privacy are just the physical manifestations of the surveillance that has taken place on you your entire life. This surveillance watches for you to be in a vulnerable position. It waits for its time. And unfortunately, with demonic attack, this is how it works. As we have ascended into higher frequencies, what happens is that what can no longer maintain life in your reality must die off. So if you have been using false protection or protection that is not of the highest alignment, maybe you have an identity that can no longer maintain life within your consciousness and your psyche, what you're moving through is the awareness that this aspect of you must be alchemized and released out. So when you have a mass awakening, a mass shift into greater frequency of devotion, of light, of commitment, and if we look at invasion as being the polarity to contribution, then as we are standing in this choice to be of more contribution as a collective whole, we are also receiving the polarity of that, which is invasion. Invasion of our consciousness, invasion of our body, invasion of our mind. And this is how this reality works. We are stepping into contribution, and we must see every aspect of our being, our body, and our psyche that is still allowing for invasion to take place. For you to become comfortable with what is taking place, it's to see it from a neutralistic or a lens of neutrality, where you see it simply as two poles. Contribution means coming into acceptance and alchemy of invasion, and also looking at where your distortions sit in relation to contribution. Looking at your theme that may be the very aspect of the core wounds or the energy signatures that are coming up for you that would allow this invasion. Because of these underworld rulers, and we could say the inverted trinity of the underworld, they are aware of what we're moving through. They watch. They are just as aware as we are of certain aspects. They have their own oracles. They have their own high priestesses. They have their own visionaries that know what is taking place, and they know how to plan and pre-plan for intersections to take place on the divine journey. We can say they're working for us in that they're showing us our weak spots. But in the moments where you are receiving this, you may not feel it. And that is okay. It's okay to not feel safe in your body. It's okay to not feel safe in your environment. And it's okay to be fearful of what's coming. But what you must realize is, whilst you stay in emotional overwhelm, they can and will invade your consciousness. There is no rules for them. And so for you to stabilize, it is necessary for you to come into the awareness of what your core fragmentation or vulnerability is that would allow for psychic attack and this invasion to take over your current reality. Their agenda is to ensure that those that are about to step into their dharmic path, their soul's mission, and in contribution, go into a state of emotional overwhelm and are unable to build the foundations of their purpose. Their intention is very much to stay in emotionality. That is the current point of this energy reading, is that where you are going into over emotional reactivity, and you are stuck in a state of overwhelm, any aspects of your emotional center that is triggered, that your sympathetic nervous system, your fight, flight, freeze, and the aspects of you are in extreme levels, require to go through a point of self-regulation and dissolving or comforting. If you do not know how to self-soothe, then self-soothing is going to be one of the ways that can assist you. If you have someone safe that can hold you and help you breathe to retrain your nervous system, that is also helpful. If your neurology and your neural pathways are still running off fight, flight, freeze, and fawn as your primary survival tactics, it is helpful for you to look at what your core reasons are as to why you are attached to these survival mechanisms. Once you find the core creation point as to why you're attached to these, then you are able to ask for your body to rewire without them. You do not have to have the reptilian consciousness or brain running your experience, but you have to come to a point of seeing why that default program has been created, because it has protected you. Only now it is not helping. A being or a human in a state of emotional overwhelm is in fear, terror, and horror, and they are easily controlled, infiltrated, and influenced. To allow yourself to move through this, I'm going to leave you with one short reflection. To close your eyes and to ask your inner being in this moment, what is the point of creation that exists for you, whether it be in this incarnation or any other incarnation, that would allow you to not feel safe in your reality? What is the core creation point that would not allow you to feel safe in your reality? And feel where it takes you back to. That is the place where you can work on. That is the energy that you can ask the questions and have journaling processes and start to commune with. And when you find and teach that aspect of you that you are safe, you'll find that those weak spots or those entry points of this invasion cannot hurt you any longer. In the meantime, use your protection fields. Use your crystal grids. Use your sage. Use your sound, your singing, toning. Use things that will allow you to create very safe, secure, and protective fields. Ask for the support of your archangels. Ask for the support of your energy teams. Ask for the support of your ancestors. There is no weakness in recognizing that right now you are vulnerable and you're unable to protect yourself. I love you, beautiful brothers and sisters. Thank you for receiving this transmission. If you would like to receive any further information in regards to the ongoing energy readings that come through, please ensure that you visit my Linktree and you sign up to the mailing list, where you will receive new released transmissions and information. You'll also find through my Linktree that you can sign up to the 1010 portal transmission, which is all around the high heart and the source sacred heart connection, which means that you can live from the sacred heart's truth and that you can align to the joy that sits so deeply within you and is there desiring to be embodied. There will be DNA upgrades, and it is supported by the Purity of Isis Sisterhood, which is a group of priestesses, initiates that are training through the mystery school of the Purity of Isis. And if you are feeling called to any further woman's embodiment, then the Temple of Light may also be for you. This is a women's event on the 6th of October in the Sunshine Coast of Australia that can that is globally streamed and able to remind you and reconnect you to that sacred point of your own wisdom and activate the priestess and the magic within. For further information, please visit those streams. Make sure you like, subscribe, and thank you for your presence and your energy. I love you. Ahava.